Okay, so who can explain Section 1 of Article 1? You, Miss Aida.
Section 1 is the Filipino registered nurse believes in the worth and dignity of each human being, recognizes the primary responsibility is to preserve health at all costs. So in Section 1 is this, it stated that we nurses believe in the importance of every client that we could meet, and we should always respect them, and whatever happens, we should always take care of them and give them the proper help that they should have.
Okay, very good. That's very good. So guys, if you can explain the sections of each article, please explain, because that will be added points for you. Okay, so we can explain Section 2. Section 2, anyone? Okay. How about you, Ms. Leah?
Section 2. To assume this responsibility, registered nurses have to gain knowledge and understanding of a man's cultural, social, spiritual, psychological, and ecological aspects of illness, utilizing the therapeutic process. So, as a nurse, we need to have a knowledge about their cultural, social, and psychological status to understand their situation and to perform the therapeutic process properly.
Okay, thank you. Next is Section 3. Miss Lazaga, let's explain. Read and explain.
So in Section 3, the desire for the respect and confidence of clientele, colleagues, co-workers, and the members of the community provides the incentive to attain and maintain the highest possible degree of ethical conduct. So you should need to have an action so that you can gain the respect that you want to attain.
Okay.
That could be all.
Next is Article 2, Section 4. Explain. Mr. Webb, please explain.
So, Section 4, Ethical Principles, values, customs, and spiritual beliefs held by individuals shall be represented. Individual freedom to make rational and unconstrained decisions shall be respected. Personal information acquired in the process of giving nursing care shall be held in strict confidence. So, sir, for example is yung Jehovah religion. So, for them, blood transfusion is prohibited. So, as a nurse, we have to respect their decision and shall not intervene with their decisions.
That's right. We must respect their values, their beliefs. Next, the guidelines to be observed. Section 5. Please explain. Miss. So that's a good show up. Okay, see. Please explain Section 5. Guidelines to be observed. Miss Diamante.
Section 5, Guidelines to be observed. Registered nurses must consider the individuality and totality of patients when they administer care. Respect the spiritual beliefs and practices of patients regarding diet and treatment. Uphold the rights of individuals and take into consideration the culture and values of patients in providing nursing care. However, in the conflicts, their welfare and safety must take precedence. So as a nurse, we must respect their beliefs, cultures, and practices.
Next, Article 3, which is registered nurses and practices. Section 6, who can explain? Miss Matindi.
Section 6, Ethical Principles. So the number 1 is human life is inviolable. Number 2 is quality and excellence in the care of patient are the goals of nursing practice. Number 3, accurate documentation of actions and outcomes of delivered care is the hallmark of nursing accountability. So the number 1 is human life is inviolable. So as a nurse, we must not violate the right of our patient. And then the number 2 is quality and excellence. We as a nurse should possess the quality and excellence of the nursing care so that we could take care of our patient. And then the number 3 is the right documentation of action will result in a good way.
Yes.
That's all.
Next is the guidelines to be observed, section 7. This is a bit long, so you can just read it. You can read it. Section 7. Anyway.
Section 7, Guidelines to be observed. Registered nurse must know the definition and scope of nursing practice, which are in the provision of RA number 9173, known as the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002, and Board Res. number 425, series of 2003, the rules and regulations implementing the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002. Be aware of their duties and responsibilities in the practice of their profession as defined in the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002 and the IRR. Acquire and develop the necessary competence in knowledge, skills, and attitude to effectively render appropriate nursing services through varied learning situations. If they are administrators, be responsible in providing favorable environment for the growth and development of registered nurses in the charge. Be cognizant that professional programs for specialty certification by the BON are accredited through the Nursing Specialty Certificate Council or NSCC. See to it that quality nursing care and practice meet the optimum standard of safe nursing practice. Ensure that patients' records shall be available only if they are to be issued to those who are professionally and directly involved in their care and when they are required by law. Ensure that modification of practice shall consider the principle of safe nursing practice, and if in position of authority in a work environment, be normally and legally responsible for revising a system of minimizing occurrences of ineffective and unlawful nursing practice.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Alibay. So, section 8, you can read youth.
Section 8. Registered nurses are the advocates of the patient. They shall take appropriate steps to safeguard their rights and privileges. So, as a nurse, you should secure your rights and privilege. You should not let others, like watchers or patient, degrade you or as a nurse or even as a person.
Next, section 9, Ms. Suarez. Please read.
Section 9 tackles about the guidelines to be observed. Registered nurses must A. Respect the patient's Bill of Rights in the delivery of nursing care. B. Provide the patient and their families with all pertinent information except those may be deemed harmful to their well-being. And C. Uphold the patient's rights when conflict arises regarding management of care. So, this article tackles about respecting the patient's rights.
Okay, next, section 10, Australia, please explain.
Section 10. Ethical
ethical principle, registered nurses are aware that their actions have professional, ethical, moral, and legal decisions. They strive to perform their work in the best interest of all concerned. It is said in this article that registered nurses are aware of their actions, whether it is good or bad, and they strive to do their best for all.
Next, section 11. Ms. Villamura, please read.
Section 11. Registered nurses must perform their professional duties in conformity with existing laws, rules, regulations, measures, and generally accepted principle of moral conduct and proper decorum. So, registered nurses must abide must abide in the law that has been implemented in order for us to follow all the rules and regulations that has been or that has already written in the court. Thank you.
Next, Article 4, Section 12. Please read. You, Ms. Princess.
Sir, on Section 12, there are two ethical principles. First was the registered nurse is in the solidarity with the other members of the healthcare team in working for the patient's best interest. The next was the registered nurse maintains collegial and collaborative working relationship with the colleagues and other healthcare providers. For example, sir, if your patient has a heart failure or a heart disease, you as a registered nurse should need to collaborate with the physicians or a specialist, for instance, a cardiologist, which really helps and which is best to help the patient, sir.
Okay, nice explanation. Thank you. Next, Section 13. Mr. De Ocampo, please read.
Section 13, get back to you, sir. A. Maintain the professional rule identity while working with the other member of the health team. B. Comport with the group activity as those a health team should be based acceptable ethico-legal standards. And C. Contribute to the professional growth and development of other members of the health team.
Okay, stop there. Mr. Andy, since you're so busy with your phone, please continue where Mr. De Ocampo left off.
C. Sorry, sir. Contribute to the professional growth and development of other members.
You understand that?
Sorry. D. Actively participate in professional organization. E. Not act in any manner prejudicial to the other professions. F. Honor and safeguard the reputation and dignity of the members of the nursing and other professions. Refrain from making unfair and unwarranted comments or criticisms on their competence, conduct, and procedures, or not do anything that will bring discredit to a colleague and to a member of other professions. And G. Respect the rights of their co-workers.
Yeah, that's why next time, focus on the work at hand and not on your phone. Yes, sir. Next, Article 5, Section 14. Mrs. Evangelista. Wait.
Section 14. Ethical principles. Number 1. The preservation of life, respect for human rights, and promotion of healthy environment shall be a commitment of a registered nurse. So as a nurse, sir, we need to always prioritize on the theory of deontology to preserve life whatever it takes. Then, the establishment of linkages with the public in promoting local, national, and international efforts to meet health and social needs of the people as a contributing member of society is a noble concern of a registered nurse. In short, sir, we need always to prioritize the health and social needs of the community.
Okay. Next, Section 15. You can read.
Article Section 15, guidelines to be observed.
Registered nurse must be conscious of the obligation as citizen and as such be involved in the community concern. Letter B, be equipped in the knowledge of health resource with the community and take active roles in primary health care. Letter C, actively participate in programs, projects, and activities that respond to the problems of society. And letter D, leads their lives in community with the principles of right conduct and proper decorum. And in this section, it's stated that you have to be responsible of your actions and need to be knowledgeable in administering care. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Next, Article 6, Section 16. You can read. You, Ms. Lana.
Section 16, ethical principles. Number 1, maintenance of loyalty to the nursing profession and preservation of its integrity are ideal. Number 2, compliance with the bylaws of the Accredited Professional Organization or the PNA and other professional organizations of which registered nurse is a member is a lofty duty. Number 3, commitment to a continual learning and active participation in the development and growth of the profession are commendable obligations. And last, contribution to the improvement of the socio-economic conditions and general welfare of nurses through appropriate legislation is a practice and visionary mission. Basically speaking, this section states that a registered nurse must stick to his or her principle of maintaining life whatever it takes. He or she should be committed to his or her duty or to the oath he or she take and fulfill responsibilities as a registered nurse.
Okay. Section 17, Ms. Kato.
Section 17, guidelines to be observed. Registered nurse must be members of the Accredited Professional Organization, which is the PNA, and strictly adhere to the nursing standards.
Okay, stop there. Miss Omar, I already got Mr. Rajiv playing his cell phone. Did you not see that? Please read, continue where Ms. Kato.
For this section 17, registered nurse must participate actively in the growth and development of the nursing profession, strive to secure equitable economic and work conditions in nursing through appropriate legislation and other means, and also to assert for the implementation of labor and work standards. So for this section, we must always actively participate in when it comes or when it terms in the growth of development of the nursing professions.
Okay, thank you. Well, at least you provided some explanation to that section, unlike some students I know. Okay, last section, Article 7, Section 18. Explain, Ms. Pasquin.
Section 18. The certificate of registration of the registered nurse shall either be revoked or suspended for violation of any provisions of this code pursuant to Section 23, number 91373. This section tells that the registration of a nurse may be revoked or may be taken if they violated some of the rules that is given on the code.
Okay. So based on what you guys read, generally speaking, what did all those articles talk about? Ethical principles of nursing. Not only did it talk about the ethical principles of nursing, but it also talked about what are the roles of a nurse during his or her time in the hospital. That's why we have these. These are certain roles, certain ethical values we should abide by. Right?
Yes, sir.
So I did say that there are certain rules. That's why this is called the Code of Ethics for Filipino Nurses. Because these are certain ethics, certain codes, or rules that we nurses have a certain, certain duty to fulfill those roles. Ethical roles, if I may say. Is it all clear?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Diocampo, Mr. Jim, did I make myself clear? Positive. Can you repeat what I said?
No, sir.
Yes. Okay. That's all the time we have for today, so I will dismiss you early. You may go. So nice of you to come by an hour late. What do you have to say for yourself?
I guess